Yeah, well, did you know that Jacob has a very small sense of humor? So, along the stage, we have a couple of jars with our performers' names on them. If you paid and you have tickets, then you can put your tickets in the jars of the performers that you like, and at the end, we'll see who wins. All right, this is Claire again.
Long ago, my dad was reading a novel, The Frozen Dead by Bernard Winnier, when he called me over. Before I could get a word in, he began to read aloud in the way dads only can. What if, for example, you had the choice in an election between 3 candidates? The first one is half paralyzed by polio, suffers from high blood pressure and anemia, among other serious illnesses, has been known to lie, consults an astrologer, cheats on his wife, is a chain smoker, and drinks too many martinis. The second is obese, has already lost 3 elections, is going through a depression, has had 2 heart attacks, and in the evening glugs champagne, port, brandy, and whiskey before taking 2 sleeping tablets. And the third is a decorated war hero who respects women, loves animals, might drink a beer from time to time, but doesn't smoke. Who would you choose? My dad paused, looked up from his book, and awaited my response. With a smirk on my face, I said, I guess you're expecting me to choose the third candidate. He then read aloud. Well done. You've just rejected Roosevelt and Churchill and elected Adolf Hitler. You see, things are never as they seem. Politicians and leaders cherry-pick the aspects of their lives they want the public to be aware of. They plaster their experiences, war veteran, humanitarian, family man, and conceal what they may consider blemishes, wealth status, past careers, affairs. Our culture, coupled with the growing reach of the media, essentially ensures we will know everything about the politicians of today. The backgrounds of the leaders of the past, however, are slightly more ambiguous. Today, let's play detective and uncover the obscure pasts of Alexander Hamilton, Gerald Ford, and Margaret Thatcher, because appearances simply can't be trusted. On the off chance you don't have $400 to spend on tickets to see Hamilton, the show that is taking over Broadway, I will be giving you a brief rundown of the man at the center of the show, void of song and dance. Alexander Hamilton, the youngest founding father and the economist whose face may be removed from the $10, was once a driving force for the ratification of the Constitution, writing nearly 2/3 of the 85 Federalist Papers. Government then was much like government now, in the sense that it was largely controlled by wealthy white men. Alexander, however, was the anomaly. The first few lines of the song central to the show, entitled Alexander Hamilton, summarizes it quite well. How does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore, and a Scotsman, dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean, by Providence, impoverished and squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar? An article published by the PBS entitled The American Experience, Alexander Hamilton, asserted that Alexander, orphaned at the age of 12, relied on his intelligence and willingness to work to survive and eventually thrive. He clerked for a St. Croix businessman before ultimately being sent to study in America. At the age of 16, he entered King's College, but dropped out in 1774 as the Revolution neared. He garnered power by becoming closely associated with George Washington, and might have even risen to the highest office, if not for a scandal in 1797, when a pamphlet revealed he was having an affair with a married woman, linking him to financial impropriety. He eventually cleared his name of financial wrongdoing, but his reputation remained severely damaged. The song concludes, will they know what you overcame? Will they know you rewrote the game? The world will never be the same. When Gerald Ford took the presidential oath of office on August 9, 1974, following Richard Nixon's disgraced fall from the presidency, he declared, "This is an hour of history that troubles our minds and hurts our hearts." Gerald Ford's personal history, the culmination being this point, is one of equal intrigue. Born Leslie Lynch King in 1913, he soon took his stepfather's name, Gerald Ford. He would then go on to attend the University of Michigan, where he took the football team to 2 Rose Bowls. An article published by the university asserts that many consider him to be one of the greatest football players in the school's history. He even turned down the opportunity to play for the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Football wasn't his only career option, though. In 1940, Ford, a Yale law student who was also a senior partner at a New York modeling agency and served as an assistant coach for the Yale football team, had his life wide open. The man was on the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine with his then girlfriend, model Phyllis Brown. And yet he chose politics. He was a respected member of the House before being appointed to the vice presidency. He has the privileged honor of being the only person to have served as both vice president and president without being elected to either office. 4 years later, in 1979, and thousands of miles away from D.C. in London, Margaret Thatcher became the first woman to hold the position of Britain's prime minister. An article published by the BBC asserts she epitomized a particular school of right-wing politics, Thatcherism. She used her cast-iron will to help change the face of Britain. This powerful and controversial woman began her career in a quiet market town. Her ordinary beginnings were largely dictated by her less than prosperous father, who owned the market above which her family lived. Her father did, however, enable her to attend Oxford, a feat few from her town were able to accomplish. There, she studied chemistry. She remained keen to pursue her interest in politics and join the Young Conservatives. Her political career soon displaced her scientific one. Although she died in 2012, the impact she had on her nation still remains. Some view her as Britain's savior, while others still emphatically tote shirts that say, "I hate Thatcher." Today, we have uncovered the interesting and rather surprising backgrounds of leaders whose impact is still felt. Their established appearances, in conjunction with their lesser-known histories, enables me to deem them extraordinary. Hopefully, the next time you hear obscure facts about unidentified candidates, you will know that past and secrets aren't everything. Thank you.
Bobish, what are you doing?
Oh, I was just gonna clip my toenails.
Okay, anyway, our next performance is a dramatic interpretation by Carson Camp, meaning that she will perform a 10-minute pre-written script that's supposed to make you feel sad.
Oh, what's it called?
Don't clip your toenails while under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
Whoops. This is Colorado, right?
Bobish. Geography.
A couple of weeks ago, I went on this whole religious retreat for a couple of reasons. The biggest, I was grateful to be alive. Until Kelly, one of our coordinators, said the words I didn't want to hear. As a sign of sister serving sisters, we're gonna be washing each other's feet. Oh, no. The woman to my right's name tag read Cheryl, and she was the poor soul who will be washing my poor souls.
What happened to your feet?
When you were hit with something like breast cancer, how would you choose to deal with it? Take comfort with family and friends? Do everything on your bucket list you could? Or, if you're like Miss Sandy Morancho, deal with it with the best defense around: humor. In this true story, we find out how Miss Sandy Moranto dealt with breast cancer using sarcastic remarks, witty humor, and focusing on herself and her family. This is Never Clip Your Toenails While Under the Influence of Drugs by Sandy Ronto.
Oh, I am so sorry. It's just that they look so painful.
Trust me, it's quite all right.
So, what happened to them?
Well, I had this little outpatient surgery a couple of weeks back. Unfortunately, I was still lucid when I got home, and my husband Tim thought it'd be a bright idea to leave me home alone. I was still under the influence of the anesthesia and probably should have been left alone with anything sharp. There on Tim's nightstand were a pair of toenail clippers. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what type of surgery did you have?
Oh, I don't mind at all. It was stage 2 breast reconstruction.
I am so sorry.
Cheryl's smile turned into a look of approval. She embraced me, hugged tight, long and sincere, but I'd grown to hate these types of moments. Not as sorry as you're gonna be when you're washing my feet. Cheryl didn't laugh. She just gave me one of those sad smiles. A couple of months before this whole feet washing fiasco, I was doing something completely uncharacteristic. I was cleaning my house. Some dust fell into my chest, and when I went to brush it away, that's a lot. I was so angry at myself. You see, it's been 2 years since my annual exam, and my first thoughts were, well, isn't this just great? I'm sure I have breast cancer and it's probably spread. It's entirely my fault because I haven't been to the doctor in over 2 years. I'll probably be too weak to even go on our camping trip next summer. Tim will probably start dating again before I'm even dead for 6 months. I am so sorry. It's just that when you find a lump in your breast, thoughts of who could replace you in your loved one's lives really does go through your head. And then you think you've got to snap back out of it and stop obsessing over your husband's next wife. Should probably get this lump checked out. So that's what I did. It was just as I had feared. It was breast cancer. But I was lucky. It was an early stage and I could handle losing my breasts. I will admit, hearing the words breast cancer did scare me, but more than scaring me, it woke me up. I was never a bad person, but up until that point, I hadn't been a very good one. So on that day, I wrote in my journal, "Dear journal, from this day forward, I promise to be a more loving, understanding, and patient wife and mother. Yours truly, Sandy." I had broken that vow in 38 minutes. I know it was 38 minutes because I looked at the clock on my way out the door. 10:38. I don't know what me and Tim fought about, and I know the fight didn't last long, but it ended with me over-dramatically exiting the house. I stayed at a hotel for 2 days, and I let my daughter know that everything was fine. I was doing okay. My daughter responded with, Dad says you're just having a hard time dealing with your cancer. That's why you left. That text aimed me so much I ordered room service. And lots of it. I added a tip on top of the tip that was already charged to my bill, which I paid for with Tim's business credit card. I didn't leave because I was upset over my diagnosis. I left because my husband was acting like an ass. I mean, we fought about it, and I know the fight didn't last long, and I think I know why we were fighting so much. Cancer is easiest on the person who has it. And it sucks for people who really love that person. But trying to be strong for me, Tim never admitted his own fears. It made it easier for us to fight over menial things than confront the scarier side of the situation. But I think the worst part about it was what he thought I was feeling was way worse than how I was actually feeling. Nobody believed me when I told them I was okay with it all. It even surprised me, but I didn't cry once. Okay, maybe one time. That's why my girlfriends took me out for a ta-ta to my ta-ta's party. And I will admit, a few tears did fall that evening. But they weren't tears of sadness. I was so overcome with emotion, and I felt so loved by everybody around me. The tears just fell. So when I say to you all, I am okay, I'm not in denial. There's no shoe hanging out in the open waiting to drop. I am truly okay. Thank you.
Come to the stage.
I'm not ready for this.
You are, though.
Pretty sure he is.
Okay.
The professor handed the strange-looking ball to Ash. So, you decided to show up after all. He was a gray-haired man in a lab coat. Ash held the Pokeball in his hands. He was thrilled. When the ball opened up, bright flashes of yellow electric light filled the room. And when the light stopped, a Pokemon sat on the table in front of him. Pikachu! Oh, Pokemon. The light-hearted children's animated series that follows young Ash Ketchum, who goes out on his adventure and tries to catch all of the Pokemon he can. And shove them into tiny little cages with little to nothing to eat, forcing them to perform in front of thousands of people. You know what? No, I'm sorry, that's SeaWorld I'm thinking of. No, Pokemon doesn't do that. I'm sorry. This is Pokemon, I Choose You, adapted by Tracy West. It was about a foot tall, bright yellow with red cheeks and brown stripes down its back, and best of all, a tail, shaped like a lightning bolt. That's its name, Pikachu, the professor explained. It's so cute, Ash said. This has to be the best Pokemon of them all. Ash reached down to pick up his new Pikachu. Hi, Pika! And a jolt of electricity surged through his body. Pikachu was shocking him. Pikachu is the lightning mouse Pokemon, said the professor. It's usually quite shy, but can sometimes have an electric personality. Ash smarted for Pikachu's charge. That's when Professor Oak held out his hand, and in it was a small, red electronic device. "This is your Pokédex," he gave Ash the handheld device. "It's voice activated and can answer all your questions about Pokemon, so don't lose it." "Thanks, Professor Oak," Ash said. "It's time you began your Pokemon journey." "I am Ash," the boy cried. "I will journey to gain the wisdom of Pokemon training. I hereby declare to the Pokemon of the world, I will be a Pokemon master. Today I leave town and start my Pokemon journey." Now that Ash was 10, he could get his Pokemon license. He could travel around, capturing all the different types of Pokemon, 150 in all. Ash had just left his hometown of Pallet and was now on his way to Viridian City. "Pikachu, are you really going to be like that the whole way?" Ash asked. "Pee!" replied Pikachu stubbornly. Ash had tied a clothesline around Pikachu's body and was dragging the Pokemon down the road, but Pikachu didn't want to go anywhere with Ash. "Pikachu, why don't you just open up your mouth and with your words tell me what's wrong?" Ash asked, but Pikachu opened its mouth wide, but no words came out. "That's not really what I meant. Is your name all you could say?" Ash asked. "Pikachu." Ash then heard a sound behind it. He turned. It was a wild Pokemon. It looked like a bird with brown and white feathers. Ash had seen this one before. "It's a Pidgey!" Ash cried. That is when he flicked open his Pokédex, and a mechanical voice spoke. "Pidgey is a flying type Pokemon. It is easy to capture, the perfect target for the beginning trainer." Ash was thrilled. "Go get it, Pikachu!" he called out. "Chew!" Pikachu just turned its head away. "Are you ever gonna listen to me?" Ash asked. "Chew!" The Pokédex spoke again. "To capture a Pokemon, you usually have to have your own Pokemon battle with one. But that's not fair. My Bone Pikachu won't even help me out." But Ash wasn't about to give up so easily. He picked up a rock and looked around. Not so far away was what seemed like an entire flock of the Pidgey, just waiting to be captured. Ash threw the rock, and it tapped one of the Pokemon right on the head. However, this was no Pidgey. The Pokemon turned angrily and looked at Ash. This one had a long, curved beak and looked mean. "I wonder what that one is," Ash asked nervously. "Unlike Pidgey, the Pokemon Spearow has a terrible temper," the Pokédex said. "It is very wild and will sometimes attack other Pokemon." The Spearow swooped down to attack, and on Pikachu. "Pikachu!" It screamed in fear as Ash watched helplessly. "Spearow!" A strange cry filled the air. In the distance, Ash saw an entire flock of the Spearow, and they were speeding towards them. Ash picked up Pikachu and started running down the road. The Spearow seemed to be everywhere now. They were pecking all over Ash's head and arms. It seemed like there was no hope. But wait, there was a red bicycle propped up next to a tree right by the road. Ash picked up Pikachu, put him in the basket, hopped onto the bike, and started pedaling down the road. Ash pedaled furiously, but they were getting closer. "Hang on, Pikachu! I think there's a medical center for Pokemon down the road. We're almost there!" "Spearow!" Ash tried to reassure the Pokemon, but it was afraid. The Spearow were all around now, and Ash lost control of the bike. He watched as Pikachu flew from the basket and landed a few feet away. The sky was now filled with the attacking Spearow, and Ash saw that Pikachu was too weak to move. "It looks like it's up to me now," Ash realized. "I have to protect my Pikachu." He stood up and faced the attacking Spearow. "Spearow, do you know who I am?" Ash yelled. "I am Ash from the town of Pallet, and I can't be defeated by the likes of you. I'm gonna capture you all. Do you hear me? Just don't hurt my Pikachu." Behind him, Pikachu opened up its eyes. The Spearow paused in midair, aimed their beaks directly at Ash. But Ash stood firm. He was not going to run away this time. "Come and get me!" The Spearow charged at Ash, but from the corner of his eye, Ash saw something fly past him. "Pikachu!" Pikachu's body glowed as its electricity created a huge thundershock attack. Ash was thrown backwards from the blast. And when he finally came to, he looked beside him. Pikachu was laying right there next to him, and there were no Spearow to be seen. Pikachu had risked its life to save his friend, Ash. "It looks like we beat them," Ash said, exhausted. "Choo!" Pikachu replied. Ash smiled and looked at his Pikachu. Ash knew that as long as he had his friend, he was ready for a new day and a new adventure. Thank you.
Well, I thought that was great. What about you, Jacob?
Busy eating this orange.
Well, speaking of orange, Donald Trump. Our next performance is a duo about Hillary Clinton, meaning a memorized performance by two people that is pre-written.
Legend has it that if you listen to this duo backwards, you will hear the truth about Benghazi.
True story. This is Brenna Levy and Kate Higgins.
In a time before white water and Travelgate, and even before Watergate, when the humans knew it was not us, but the gods that ruled the earth, there was a pair. No, not that kind of pair. The pair was Athena, goddess of wisdom, victory, and olives, and Aphrodite.
Yeah, so goddess of love and beauty, obviously.
When you learn about these two in school, you're taught they are vain, selfish rivals. But these enemies used to be friends, until Zeus spread vicious rumors behind the goddesses' backs. Athena says your thighs are fat. Aphrodite says Athens should have been named after her, not you.
Let us take you then to our tale, which does not unfold in ancient Greece, but in the U.S. of
America!
In this land lived a young girl who at 14 wrote to her country's most prestigious space program, asking them how to apply to become an astronaut. The letter she received, however, told her not to bother, because girls could not apply. Hillary Rodham decided she would work harder than anyone, boy or girl, and traveled many miles to Illinois' famed shrines, where the altars of Athena and Aphrodite sat side by side.
Oh, statue of Athena, please help me make this world a place where girls can use all the gifts the gods give them, so they can become doctors and astronauts, and maybe even president. We have a very big surprise for you today.
Should I tell them?
Yes, before I do.
Okay, so as you all know, Hillary Clinton is campaigning to be president.
And she's here today with us!
Give a big welcome to
Hillary Clinton!
Major Look.
Hillary respectfully declined our invitation, but wanted to pass on to all of you that
What I think she means to say is that Hillary's lack of response indicates that she would have wanted us to speak on her behalf, and that she would have loved to see our extremely moving, very accurate documentary of her career and devoted, and to always remember that women can do anything men can do.
well, most.
This is Hillary, a modern Greek tragedy with a
Somewhat.
happy ending by Wendy Weiner. Speaking of which,
Oh, statue of Athena, please help me rise to the male throne of power! Get me to the White House.
Hillary, I've aided many heroes on their quest, but I'll need something from you in return.
Easy enough. My favorite book, a biography by Eleanor Roosevelt. And I devote myself to being a loyal servant, only faithful to you. Oh, and that's from the library, so it's due back in 9 days.
With her refined mind and Athena's guidance, Hillary made it to Yale Law School, and all was going exceedingly well until one night. Behold, Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty.
I don't have time.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said, behold!
This is the library, and I support Athena.
Honey, do you realize that with a small makeover, I can get you any guy on this campus?
Newsflash, I'm not interested in being a wife, I'm interested in being a leader.
You'll regret this.
Sure. Ow, Donald Trump! Who's that?
Hi, I'm Bill Clinton. Hillary and Bill started dating, and on their third date, I'm starting to think you're something real special.
Yes, I know. I mean, thank you.
And when you smile, you're just about the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
No one had ever called Hillary beautiful before. Ever. Attractive? Sure. Pretty? Sometimes. Sturdy? Yes. But beautiful? No.
Hillary! You see what's happening? This is the work of Aphrodite.
Ow.
She's using love to distract you from your real work.
Why can't I have both?
Just like men do.
Isn't that what we're fighting for?
We're just not there yet. I like Bill. He's a nice boy, but
He's not just a nice boy. He's going to be president of the United States. And I will be the first lady. And we will be equals.
no!
And we will be two for the price of one! Hey, that's a good slogan. Write that down.
Hillary's time in Arkansas spanned out over a long 18 years, where Bill was elected governor 4 times. Now, Hillary was always standing behind Bill, speech after speech, smiling, nodding, waving, all the while itching to get behind that microphone for herself. Eventually, Hillary and Bill made it to the White House, but that is where Hillary's real problems began.
Honey, I want to be chief of staff.
How about, Attorney General?
Chief of staff!
Okay, cheers, evidence! Shortly thereafter, the Democrats lost both the House and the Senate for the first time in 40 years. But the Democrats didn't blame the president. They blamed the First Lady, Hillary Clinton. Whee! Oh, come in.
Or, here's something to you, Mr. President.
Oops, I dropped it.
Oh, that's okay. I'll get it. So now is there anything else I can do for you?
You look, familiar, Miss Lewinsky.
You remember.
I can never forget someone with a, smile like yours.
I mean, there's a lot to smile about. You're the best president ever, and I have a super humongous crush on you.
Well, I have a super humongous
Bow chicka bow wow.
The next day, the front page of the Washington Post read,
The president with the young lady. Bill, do you know her?
yeah, I did do her, I do know her.
Yes.
And, she tried to seduce me, and I told her I could not go there.
I'll take care of the press. Stand by your man. Mr. President, sir, is it true in your first affidavit you stated there is nothing going on between me and that woman concerning Ms. Lewinsky?
It depends on how you find it.
All right, so what about the semen we found on her dress?
Oh yeah, that was mine.
No! Aphrodite!
It took you 37 years to come to my altar. Excuse me if I rush. Okay, what do you want?
Free me of this love from Bill. It's the only way I can do my work. Take my heart out!
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
I think that I can, not that I would. You see, I found that being someone's second choice can make one bitter. Oh, and it looks like you found that out too. So I'm gonna need you to prove your devotion to me.
Fine. I'll do anything.
Okay, so I left this harp at Oliver's house years ago and just never retrieved it.
Isa, what's his address?
The underworld.
Could you, point me in that direction?
As Hillary opened the door, the Central Lone stopped her. But then she remembered what was waiting for her back in Washington. Power! Bill. At the bottom of the stairs was a 3-headed dog.
No.
And in the middle there was Hades.
Oh, all I'm looking for is a harp.
Oh, there are no harps here. They're only Easleyan fields.
Where's the Easleyan fields?
As Hillary glimpsed the far-off lights of the Easleyan fields, she soon took a wrong turn. And then another. And as the air thinned and the ground beneath her feet grew hot, Hillary, began to feel the burn.
Fear, stupid, I'm strong. Fear, stupid, I'm strong. Eleanor? Eleanor Roosevelt?
Ah, Hillary, what a surprise. But what are you doing here?
Looking for a heart. Really? Hey, to my true love. This is it.
But Franklin gave this to me. I'd hate to part with it.
Why? He cheated on you with his own secretary.
Finding out that the first one hurts, doesn't it? The second one even more so.
I wouldn't know! Bill's only cheated on me once during our marriage!
That's a good one.
There's the heart one for Daddy.
Ah, Hillary, I'll take your heart now.
Yes!
If that's what you really want.
Okay. No.
When Hillary returned to the White House Rose Garden, she saw Bill.
I realized I hadn't truly seen him since those days back in law school. His hair was white, body tired.
And Hillary cried, one single tear.
When I was born in 1947, there was not a single woman in the Senate. But now, I'm here.
I'm sorry, America.
What?
Oh, nothing.
And I do believe, whether it's my generation or the next, there will be a female president.
Hillary Clinton, the best political mind I know.
Hey, that's a good slogan. Write that down.
Thank you.
I wish I could have as many scandals as Hillary Clinton. I mean, these are okay, but I keep losing them, and then I have to go barefoot all the time and my feet get hurt. It's really annoying.
Rubbish. Scandals, not sandals.
Yeah, scandals.
Anyway, I'll just talk about scandals. It reminds me of something.
Feet.
No, I was thinking Batman.
Batman? You know, now that I don't think about it, that actually makes sense.
Our next performer is Caleb Hannon, who is performing an informative about Batman and the hero in all of us.
Except for Jacob, he's no hero.
My parents tell me that all the time. And Mr. Myth.
Caleb Hanlon.
Has become the newest phenomenon. A closet obsession has become the next big thing. Yes, from the box office to boxed lunches, superheroes are back. And while nerds like me don our Team Cap and Team Iron Man hashtags, one hero stands head and shoulders above the rest. A silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight. People all around the world know who Bruce Wayne is, and if they don't, they know the other name he goes by, Batman. But sometimes the sheer popularity and cultural stigma that we have surrounding Batman makes us forget that he poses an extremely interesting character study, not just for the actions of our titular hero, but the way that we as a culture respond to him. So today I want to take a moment to discuss the history and popularity of Batman, but most importantly, I want to discuss what he means to us as a culture and as individuals. In May of 1939, a comic book company that would later go on to be known as DC Comics published their comic book, Detective Comics issue number 27. The publication told the story of a young Bruce Wayne, a rich orphan child whose parents were murdered at a young age. Because of this, he trains his entire childhood in order to fight the type of crime that led to the death of his parents. One day as he was training, a bat flew into the window. Taking it as an omen, Bruce Wayne became what would be known as Batman the world over. Now there have been many different retellings of Batman, some more popular than others. One of which is the 1960s TV show that aired on the ABC starring Adam West. It gave us the now famous Batman! You'll be pleased to know that I am not in our fine choir. But perhaps Batman's most famous incarnation came in 1989 with Tim Burton's blockbuster hit simply titled Batman. The film received praise from both fans and critics alike, winning Academy Awards and becoming the 5th highest grossing movie of all time at its release. It spawned 3 sequels and a reboot in 2005. The reboot took the form of a trilogy of films directed by acclaimed director Christopher Nolan. All three of his films saw massive critical and financial returns. This leads us to Batman's most recent incarnation into our pop culture, which happened last year with my duo Batman and Robin starring me and my friend Michael Hamilton. That received no critical success whatsoever. To be honest, I don't know what I expected. But what I do know is that all of these, even my duo, help solidify Batman as one of the most iconic characters in fictional history. Think of it like this. You probably don't know anyone over the age of 4 who doesn't at least know who Batman is. And that's insane. But that poses a bigger question as to why. Why is a man in a bat costume so popular? Well, it has a lot to do with how Batman was originally created, as a comic book character. Now, as I'm sure you know, comics are never what you would call a cool medium of entertainment. You might have been cool and read comic books, but you probably weren't cool because you read comic books. And so people who read comic books love the idea of stepping into the shoes of their favorite fictional characters. And that's why superheroes became so popular. See, superheroes are the idealized versions of human beings. They can be as strong or as kind or as mysterious as we want them to be, and Batman is no different. In fact, Batman is less different. For example, you can't fly. You can't punch through walls, and you can't read minds. I hope you can't read minds. But you see, Batman can't do any of those things either. So on a fundamental level, Batman is more relatable than a lot of other superheroes. And in a fictional universe where a blonde king of the sea can summon Sharknadoes at will, dressing up like a bat, it's not so weird. Speaking of the larger superhero universe, last month, Warner Brothers Movie Studio released their biggest blockbuster hit, Batman vs. Superman. Now, I don't expect you to have seen the film, partially because it hasn't come out on DVD yet, and partially because it was hugely disappointing. But right now I just want to talk about the concept that we have a film titled Batman vs. Superman. Superman, as I'm sure you know, is a character that has a lot of the same fame and appeal as Batman, though for different reasons. If there's one character trait that we can all apply to Superman, it's powerful. So powerful, in fact, that he has a Wikipedia page devoted to listing all of the powers that he's had over the years. So that poses the question, what is Warner Brothers doing? Why is Batman even allowed to go up against Superman? You would think that would be the most lopsided battle in fictional history, but it isn't. But in order to understand why it isn't, why a regular person is capable of going toe-to-toe with Superman, first we need to debunk the myth in our own minds that Batman doesn't have any superpowers. Okay, by the textbook definition, that might be true, but see it like I see it. How is Batman capable of single-handedly stopping crime in an entire city? He goes home. He does his push-ups. He eats his vegetables. How is he capable of standing off against the Man of Steel? He sits down at his little bat computer. He gets information. He finds solutions. He finds answers. And once he finds a way to win, he does everything in his power. All of his money, uses all of his resources, all of his effort in order to execute that solution to perfection. Now, I might not be rich, but I can work for my wealth. I might not be physically fit, but I can work my body into shape. I might not always have all the answers, but like Batman, I have the means to find those answers. Batman is the American dream on steroids. And so when we see Batman as not having any superpowers, it isn't because he doesn't have any superpowers, but rather because we don't see ourselves as super. Batman has one superpower, and it's the power that you have, that I have, that everyone has. We call it willpower. Now, according to the American Psychological Association, willpower is defined as the ability to delay instant gratification in favor of long-term goals. The ability to delay animal instinct in favor of rational thought. In a way, willpower is the superpower of the animal kingdom, and it's certainly active. I mean, look around you. We went from animals without hair that would freeze in the cold to species that we can survive in space in the Sahara and Antarctica. We went from a species without any claws, without any means of self-defense, to being able to push a button and blow up the whole world. So, when we see ourselves as not having any superpowers, that's just not true. We all have a superpower. and we call it willpower. And with that one superpower, Superman, the most powerful character ever put to screen, well, he doesn't have a chance. Thank you.
That was great.
I liked it too. You know what it reminded me of?
Yes, I do. It reminds you of the time that you were a 10-year-old girl and wanted to be a superhero.
How did you know that?
Oh, I can read minds, by the way.
Really? Challenge accepted. What am I thinking now?
All right. You are thinking that Jack Eddy is super attractive.
How did you know that?
Here, check it out. Check it out. I'm pretty good. Our next piece is a humorous interpretation by Jenna Swan about a 10-year-old girl who wants to be a superhero.
Babish, we got this script a week ago. It's not mind reading.
Waking up early. Crime doesn't rest, so neither do I. At least, not right now, because I have to get ready for school, or my mom will be mad. Zip. Stealth jeans, check. Protective wristband, check. Phone that only dials City Hall, check. Cute Dora the Explorer t-shirt, super check. Time to take some criminals to school. Okay, more like fight criminals at school. I arrive unscathed, although slightly hungry. I may eat my lunch early today. I'm in charge around here. All knowledge of who I am slips into the shadows as I patrol the halls for danger. Nancy Brinkman, 10 years old. Mild eczema, but it's all gone when I put on my uniform. Except for the eczema. With my costume, I am an elementary school superhero. Da 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 da! Why are you wearing all that stupid stuff? Shut up! It's not stupid. I am superhero. Da da da! Your superhero name is Superhero? Yes. Because I am the best one of those. Now leave me alone or I'll tell the principal you're eating the trash again. Whatever. That was a close one. You never know what kind of danger you'll run into in these hallways. Showtime! What's the matter, little boy? Cat got your cat? My toy fell in the mud! This reeks of foul play. It reeks of mud! But first, we must figure out who would want your toy to be covered in mud. Who had a motive? It was an accident. I just dropped it. You can be honest with me, kid. No one should have to walk around school feeling scared. And no one shall. Not while I'm around. That's from Sweeney Todd. You're from Sweeney Todd. Tell me who did this, and I will unleash justice upon them. Like the Kraken being unleashed in the depths of the underworld! Who did this? Gravity? Shh! Do you hear that? Yes, it's the sound of injustice reigning supreme! Nancy Brinkman is a superhero. Okay, maybe she's not super or a hero. But when you're 10, anything's possible, according to Nancy Brinkman, elementary school superhero. By Matt Mills. Give me your money, man. Hey! I'm gonna cut you like a thing that gets cut. I'll call the police. No need for that, little sir. Superhero is here. Da da da! It is I that will be the helper. The hamburger helper! That was an amazing comeback. But no. Allow me to save you from this bully. Oh no, Jake's not a bully, he's... You shut your mouth before I fill it with off-brand cereal. Do you know who I am? Nancy Brinkman. Did you pee your pants when our class went to the zoo? A monkey peed my pants! He peed on my pants. From afar. Don't you try to turn this around, you sick villain! I know you're behind all the injustice in this school, and I'm gonna make you pay! With what? Cash? With your face! What? Oh! Why did you do that? Justice hurts so good! What's the matter with you? I care too much? Jake's not a bully, he's my scene partner. You're in on this too, little boy? Don't think I won't punch you too! Whoa, whoa, whoa! No! My mom wanted me to get more experience before I went to middle school, so I've been taking acting lessons. He's really a natural. Oh, thanks, man. Of course, you're super talented. Oh yeah, I could really tell. I mean, you're lying! Now leave us alone or I'll tell the principal you peed on that monkey. Nice. Well played, little boy. Did I at least save your character from a bully? Or principal? Uh-oh. Nancy? How many people are you going to punch? You can't run around pretending to be a superhero. Apparently, more than 38! Nancy, this is a very serious matter. Nothing's more serious than crime, Alan! Nancy, I've been trying to find a way to get through to you for years now. And well, it might hurt you to know you're hurting others has affected the way your friends look at you. You're suspended. What? You can't do that! That's not one of your superpowers! No. It's one of my regular powers. Only the League of Superheroes has that ability. To get approval from the board would take weeks. There's no way you could have gotten it approved. Nancy, I have things to do. Oh, I see. Now what? You're behind all of this! Oh, please. So it was you all along, Principal Allen. Or should I say, Principal Villain? Villain. Nancy? I'm an elementary school principal. I went to the University of Michigan. I have 2 labradoodles. A clever cover-up for your world-conquering adventures as the greatest supervillain these halls have ever seen. Nancy, you're expelled. You're done here. Done. What? Does that mean my superhero persona is expelled? Or I am? Both? Is there any way I could bribe you out of this? After being exiled to a school near the middle of nowhere, I pick up right where I left off. Stealth jeans? Check. Protective wristband? Check. Phone that only dials City Hall? Check. Cute t-shirt? Super duper check. Time to take some criminals to school. Oh, I dropped my toy in the mud. Jackpot. Thank you.
superheroes is really bumming me out.
Well, that's good because our next performance is about depression.
Yeah, it's about how in 1929 there was a huge stock market collapse with huge dust bowl and great rates of unemployment.
Babish, you're thinking about the Great Depression.
Oh, I see.
What are you doing?
I'm depressing you.
It's not that type of depression. Anyway, our next performer is Emma Hunt.
I didn't understand why it hurt so much to hold hands. And no 17-year-old wants to be alone, so I filled my sheets with the bodies of boys whose personalities I never really got the chance to know. He was a broken branch, grafted onto a different family tree, adopted. Not because his parents opted for a different destiny, he was 3. When he became a mixed drink of 1 part left alone and 2 parts tragedy, started therapy in the 8th grade, had a personality made up of tests and pills, lived like the uphills were mountains, the downhills were cliffs, 4/5 suicidal, a tidal wave of antidepressants, and an adolescence of being called Hopper. He tried to kill himself in grade 10 when a kid who could still go home to mom and dad had the audacity to tell him, get over it, as if depression could be remedied by any of the contents found in a first aid kit. Depression is shutting yourself up in your room and hearing your family laughing downstairs and knowing that you can't be a part of them. And learning at a very young age to love family always, but that family isn't always love. To this day, he has a stick of TNT lit from both ends, could describe to you in detail the way the sky bends moments before it's about to fall. And despite an army of friends who will call him an inspiration, he still remains a conversation piece between people who can't understand that sometimes being drug-free has less to do with addiction and more to do with sanity. Depression is hearing your mother call you a monster and disgusting through the too thin walls of your doorway when she thinks you can't hear her. And then telling you to your face that you have no right to cry, as if sadness is a privilege and you're so pathetic you don't even deserve it. We aren't the only kids who grew up this way. To this day, kids are still being called names. The classics were, hey stupid, hey spaz. Seems like every school has an arsenal of names getting updated every year, and if a kid breaks in a school and no one around chooses to hear it, do they make a sound? Are they just background noise on a soundtrack stuck on repeat when people say things like, kids can be cruel? Depression is afoot when the shoe hasn't quite been broken in yet. When you haven't broken life in, is seeing people with smiles and thinking they all look the same, with smiles like magazines, with smiles that reach their eyes when yours can't. Depression is wishing you could package your smiles into tiny piles and hand them off to people more deserving of them than you, because you know you're wasting them, with your half-assed lines of, I'm fine. We grew up learning to cheer on the underdog because we see ourselves in them. We're the graduating class members of We Made It, not the faded echoes of voices crying out, words will never hurt me. Of course they did. Depression is a hooded figure standing just outside of a wooden doorway, and when you close the door out of fear, it keeps pounding, possessive and pissed, and when you open the door out of anger, you shout, I'm scared, to thin air, and your voice comes out as a whisper. Depression is having to view your past as if it wasn't yours, because to accept it as a reality is to accept the finality of your life through suicide, but our lives will only ever always continue to be a balancing act that has less to do with pain and more to do with beauty.
This next performance is, let's be honest, it's terrible. It's horrendous. I don't even know why this kid's even here. I mean, sure, he qualified to state in both national tournaments, and sure, he even went to nationals as a freshman, which is more than I've ever done, but, actually, you know what? He's pretty good. This is Jacob Roberts' humorous interpretation.
Greetings, my millions of followers, and welcome to my inaugural video vlog. I'm your host, Danny McMahon, an all-around awesome guy. Over the next several, I'm not wearing a watch, years, I will be leading you through my daily activities and stories to help you be as awesome as me, Danny McMahon. You can look forward to lessons on juggling, the lost art, finding your retainer in the lunchroom garbage can and still making it to class on time. And crossing guard. Friend or foe? From the dawn of time, scientists have been trying to find a way to make the ages between 11 and 14 bearable to the common man. But they have always come up short. But now, with Danny McMahon's how-to vlog, it is safe to say, Mom, Daniel's using all the bandwidth again. Daniel, share some bandwidth with your sister. That's not how bandwidth works, Mom. Don't you take that tone with me, young man. You share some bandwidth with your sister. And, give her some of your internets. It appears that this concludes today's video vlog. Tune in next time to hear about how to get out of setting the dinner table. Middle school. A lot of people don't realize it's actually kind of a big deal. It sets a preconceived idea on what everybody thinks about you for the rest of your middle school career. For some of us, this means you're super smart and popular and everybody loves you. But for others, it means the only time people talk to you is when it's about how you peed your pants in the first assembly of 7th grade. But enough about my friend Ladarius. Our protagonist in this story feels that he has this being cool thing down. So he decided to create this video vlog to bestow upon all of you his great knowledge with Danny McMahon's how-to vlog on surviving middle school, beating up all the bad guys, and ruling the world. By Bridget Webb. Danny, did you see all the posters? My best friend Betsy walked right up to me and handed me a flyer. And on it said, Joe Biden Middle School, Mapathon. A mapathon for all students at Joe Biden Middle School. Well, as you all know, geography happens to be my favorite and best subject. I owe it all to the countless hours of sitting in the lunchroom when I would stare at the map on the wall and eat by myself in 2nd grade. Through 5th grade. So, Danny, are you signing up for the Mapathon? I don't know, Betsy. Who else has signed up? There are a few kids from Miss Sullivan's class. And, whoa! Granny McMahon! How are you doing? I turned to face none other than my arch nemesis, Hector Kurgowski! Whoa! Granny McMahon, so are you gonna sign up for the Mapathon? Yeah, he is, Hector, and you know what? He's gonna mop the floor with you, so you better back off! Oh, Granny McMahon, got yourself a little bodyguard here, and she's a spunky one too. Not that that will help. And I will always cross you. You know what, Hector? You just need to back up. It's fine, Betsy. He's walking away. So, do you actually think I have a chance at winning the Mapathon? Of course I do, Danny. You're the smartest person I've ever met. It's great to have friends that believe in you. You're the best around! Nothing's gonna ever keep me down! I've been preparing for the Mapathon like crazy. Betsy just keeps firing questions at me. Quick! What is the capital of Armenia? Yerevan. What is the deepest gold mine in the entire world? Tawatoa in South Africa. Will you go to the winter dance with me? Yeah. Wait. What? What? Did you just... Tawatoa's right! Do you want to move to Latin America? I mean, move on to Latin America? At any rate, we've been preparing relentlessly. And then today, something else happened. Whoa! Christopher Don Columbus! What are you doing? I'm doing as about as well as Vasco da Gama's trip around the Cape of Good Hope. I sure hope you realize that geographical history is different from geography. Well, I sure hope you realize, your face is stupid! Oh, burn! Oh, funny. So, the reason why I came over here is I wanted to see if you wanted to put a little wager on tomorrow's match. What kind of wager? I want to take that perky little redhead that's always following you around on a date. Betsy? I hated the mere fact of even thinking about my best friend going on a date with my arch nemesis! But this was my chance. My chance to get something I have always wanted. All right, Hector, you got yourself a deal. But on one condition. If I win, you have to say in front of the entire school that I am smarter than you and that, you're not even worthy to tie my shoes. Oh, it's not like you actually have a chance. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, memorizing from Sahara to the Nile. Oh, it is finally the day of the geography match, and I've been preparing like crazy. I've also been trying to avoid Betsy at all costs, but now since I'm backstage, there's no hope.
Hey, Danny. I just wanted to let you know that you're going to do great today. And it's not like there's anything to worry about. I mean, other than losing your dignity, right?
I had to get away from him. I walked right out on stage, and there he was, Hector Kurkowski, looking about as cool as the water that flows from the Angel Falls. Whoa! Great mayhem. I hope your girlfriend's ready to go on a date with me, because what I'm planning, it's gonna be good. I'm gonna sneak her into an R-rated movie, and then we're gonna eat Mike. And ice. What do you think about that? You know what, Hector? You're basically mad. And then the buzzer rang. We walked right up to our podiums. Hector was at his, and I was at mine. And all the other contestants were at theirs. Miss Ames, the librarian, just started firing questions at us.
So, how wide is the Laventine Basin at its narrowest point?
The Laventine Basin is 82 kilometers at its narrowest point.
Correct. What is the capital of Armenia?
I know this. The capital of Armenia is Yerevan. The score was 1-1. And everyone else was out already, so we only had time for one more question. But I got distracted. There, in the center of the auditorium, was Betsy, holding up a huge sign, and on it said,
Danny McMahon, kick the map out of him! You complete me. By which European explorer?
wait, what? Miss Ames had read the final question! Hector was about to buzz in, I had to... At this moment, I had two options. Stand there blubbering like an idiot, or guess. Vasco da Gama?
Correct!
Danny McMahon wins the mapathon! I was so excited I didn't know what to do! I pulled Betsy right up on stage! And you won't believe what I did next! I kissed her on the lips! And the best part of it all, oh, Daniel, she liked it! I kissed her on the lips and she liked it! And to top off the best day ever, Hector, I believe that you have something to say to me. Oh, Danny McMahon is smarter than me. And I'm not even worthy to tie the shoes. You got that right. So, it looks like the moral of today's video vlog is you can almost achieve anything by yourself. But with friends supporting you, you can truly achieve anything. So, tune in next time to hear about how to... Mom! Daniel left his Ninja Turtle underwear on the bathroom floor. It's so gross. Daniel, pick up your big boy pants off the bathroom floor. Mom! Thank you.
Performances also by Jacob Roberts, but this time he has a partner, Daniel Hill. They'll be performing a duo about what will happen if Donald Trump is elected president. Personally, I'm excited. I'm a senior now, so I've been having to make some tough decisions, but I'm I'm proud to say that I'm officially going to Trump University.
Trump University closed, Favish.
Oh. Well, at least I can fly on Trump Airlines.
Another failure.
Trump vodka?
Also a failure.
Well, at least we have a wall to look forward to.
Good evening. I'm Brett Starr with Jocks News, where we remind you to take news
Like a man!
Citizens are gearing up for what's appearing to be one of the most explosive elections in America's history. Today we'll take a look at some of the newer political parties. We'll see what they stand for and what we ourselves believe in, right after this commercial break.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. If you have one, come join us. Our party's for you. Hello, and I'm Sing Sing, the birthday clown. And if you have a birthday, then you should join the political party that celebrates our commonality, the birthday party. If you agree with us when we say the White House should be decorated with party hats and streamers all the time, then you have a clear decision. So, vote for the birthday party. It's gonna be a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, tough ladies and strong ladies.
Pretty ladies.
And sexy ladies. And men too.
God, yes!
Anyway, what it's gonna look like.
A world where anybody can wake up and decide to run for president.
A world where Kanye West is president.
A world where that creepy clowns wants our launch codes.
This is what it's gonna look like after Donald J. Trump's time in the presidency.
The election.
By G.T. Burns.
Hashtag feel the burn.
Hashtag that joke was already made.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a special treat for you. It appears that the quitting party has dropped out of the race. But not before making an insulting comment towards another party who's very popular with younger viewers. Today representing the pot, Luck Party, Mary Jane Watson is here to say a few things. Come on out, Mary Jane.
You know, my name's Mary Jane, and I'm just here to put to rest all the accusations that we have illegal substances on our property. Because after all, here at the pot, Luck Party, all we want to do, we just want to be chill. We just want to be mellow. We just want to go with the flow. So, when you make your decision, it's pretty obvious who you should vote for. The pot. The Luck Party. So, when were you going to tell me?
Tell you what, sweetheart.
Your voter registration came in the mail yesterday.
Did it?
When were you going to tell me that you're a registered member of the Bachelor Party?
Look, it's just a party. I mean, my affiliations with them don't define who I am as a person.
Oh, really? Or have you forgotten that I'm your wife?
Of course not. Look, baby, you're just making mountains out of molehills.
Funny you mention mountains. The Bachelor Party sure cares about its mountains.
No, that's not what they stand for.
Oh, really? Then what do they stand for?
Plenty of things.
Like what?
Women's rights.
Oh my gosh! Yeah!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have another special interview for you. Here we have somebody with quite a bit of energy, because it appears that there's a DJ in the house. Is there a DJ in the house?
Yo, 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 my name's DJ BJ. How's it kicking, yo? So, what we're here to tell you is we're going to take the left side and the right side of the White House and we're going to come together in the center where my DJ stand is, and let me tell you, it is going to be bumping.
Bumpin'.
Bumping.
Bumpin'. Wake fresh, yo.
So, when you make your vote, I can only see one clear winner, and that is the Potty Potty, where you guessed it, we party. Peace out, yo.
That was very interesting, DJ. Now we have somebody who's a little quieter, somebody who's a little bit more mysterious. Today we have a member from the gang party here to talk to us. TJ, it's your turn.
Hi guys. My name is TJ. I'm here with the gang party. So you see, me and me home raised, we have a very specific mindset, and that's that we're missing something in the United States. That being fear. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to reinstill the fear that our forefathers brought into us by putting the fear into the United States federal government. And when we've accomplished that, we will all be part of one big La Familia, per se. So before you vote, just remember that we have your address, we know your family, and we know who you voted for. So just keep that in mind before you try to bring us down, okay? We gonna find you.
Thank you, TJ. Now we have one final guest for you. Here representing the dinner party is Rush Limburger. Come on up, Rush.
Hello, my name is Rush Limburger, and I'm here to tell you that what we want free college, free healthcare, and you know how we're gonna do it, the young voters. The young voters, it's gonna be huge! Huge! So, here at the dinner party, we got a lot on our plate, and we do it because the young voters! Thank you! I said it first.
Thanks, Rush. It does seem that there are a lot of things on your plate. Anyways, that's all the time that we have for today. But join us next time, and we'll take a look at the other special political parties. We'll take a look at none other than the Beach Party. We'll even have an exclusive one-on-one interview with the Big Kahuna himself. But until then, I'm Brett Starr.
Well, bro, I was told that I'd get my time today.
Is this the Big Kahuna? Big Kahuna, you're scheduled for next week. Why are you here?
You know, I'm just hanging 10 here, trying to make my way to the White House, and you're just shooting me down.
All right, Big Kahuna, look, you're here now. We got like 30 seconds left. Do you have anything to say?
I honestly didn't think I'd get this far.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we are truly out of time. Join us next time where we won't be interviewing the Beach Party. But until then, I'm Brett Starr with Jocks News, reminding you to take news
like a man! The next performer is Babish Dinakar.
Wait, what? That can be right.
I thought you were illiterate.
I am.
Well, good thing you have 5 minutes to prepare because Babish is doing impromptu. And what that means is he has 5 minutes to come up with a speech that he will give to all of you. So, it's often some pretty crazy ideas. Let's get some. Raise your hands, ideas. Let's go. Yeah, Nick
Donald
Massa.
Trump.
Okay. No. A little overused today. Let's come up with something better.
Marrying your cousin.
I feel like Babish may have a grasp on that.
Bok choy or Chinese cabbage.
Of course.
All right.
Teletubbies. Yeah.
Plastic surgery.
Okay. Plastic. Oh, plastic surgery.
MK Ultra.
Prince. Okay. What was the one that was really good from over here?
K-pop. Plastic surgery. Cousin
Wait.
married. Plastic surgery.
Mary.
Sorry. Oh. While Bob was just preparing, totally just forgot to introduce someone. Tyler Armour will be performing his VI.
Dear Emmy,
As I write this, you are 9 years old, too young to be told the full and true story of our family's past. I wonder if you really need to know what happened to us, you, me, and Callie, at the hands of her mother. But if you're reading this, it means I'm about to tell you everything I know. Matthew. Throughout life, many people have adult figures that they look to for their guidance and support in life. And for many of us, it's easy to say that it's our own parents, as our parents have such easy access to our lives. But there are a lot of people out there who can't say that it's their own parents they look up to. In this story, Matthew, along with his two sisters, Callie and Emmy, can't rely on their father, and they certainly can't ever put any trust in their mother. So instead, they turn to a man, Murdoch McIlvaine, whenever they need help in life. The Rules of Survival by Nancy Werlin. For me, the story begins with Murdoch McIlvaine, when I was 13 and you were only 5. It had been a date night for our mother, so we'd been locked in, but naturally we climbed out the window and went 1 block over to the Cumberland Farm store. And then the yelling began. There was this little boy just clutching a bag of Reese's. Then the big man, his father, was shaking him and shaking him hard. But then Murdoch was between fathers. Emmy, I like to just freeze this moment in my mind and just look at Murdoch. He was just a medium kind of man. You wouldn't look twice until you have looked. He wasn't afraid. I noticed that right away. I liked him for that, Emmy. No, I loved him. Immediately. But then it was all over. The big man said something about having a hard day at work, but Murdoch knelt on the floor next to the can. It's wrong for anybody to ever hurt you. Can you remember that? You don't have to do anything else. You just have to remember. I stood in that convenience store on that hot summer night and I thought to myself, I have to know that man. I spent the rest of my 13th year looking for him, but it wasn't until a May afternoon when Callie came bounding up the stairs to the bedroom that I used to share with her and you, thrusting a piece of paper towards me. It was an online print screen of an online telephone and address directory. Murdoch McIlvaine, 892 East 10th Street. And the apartment door opened and footsteps followed. Our mother's. And then there she was in our room, leaning over my shoulder to take the piece of paper away from me. She read aloud, breezily. Murdoch McIlvaine, 892 East 10th Street. So who's this guy you kids trying to set me up on a date? I was just thinking it was time for me to meet somebody new. I'll pay him a visit tomorrow. Oh, don't worry, I'll be at my most charming. There was nothing we could do because, in fact, our mother seemed to be in quite a good mood. Cocaine, new man, I didn't care what it was. Maybe we'd have an okay night. She pretended to be normal, our mother, for most of the weeks that she was with Murdoch, but I think it was really difficult for her, because then came her first major slip-up. Murdoch had taken us all on this picnic to Gloucester, and we had set up on these huge flat rocks. Below us, a steep incline ran down to the ocean, and we ate and talked idly and let the breeze just hit us in our faces. And then our mother stood up and smiled and laughed. I saw Murdoch look up at her and smile at her, but I knew that laugh of hers. She already had you, Emmy, up under her arm and was carrying you like a football down towards the water. Her hair was flying behind her like a flag, and she shouted for us to come join her, to show some spirit. She giggled, and I looked up and saw that she had you dangling over the water. Of course, Murdoch was already even with her, and we heard his voice carry up to us. There was this moment of silence, and I thought of that moment in the Cumberland Farm store, when he had stood up to that big man. And then, just kidding, our mother said as she pulled you back up into her arms. Murdoch said nothing as he reached out and took you away from her. He broke up with our mother shortly after Labor Day weekend. And shortly after that, we transferred you to a new school and stopped living with our mother. I remember this one day a few years later when it was my day to pick you up from school. But I was a little late and you had already gone. How did she get to you? We'll never know. All we know is that she showed up at your elementary school before I did and took you away. Of course, the moment I realized you were missing, I called up Murdoch and we called the police and they did everything they could. But then one day had passed and we heard nothing. And then it was 2 days and then 3 and I thought I would go mad. I locked myself in my room and just let my mattress hit me in my face as I fell in. Simply closed my eyes and let my mind just chase itself down one dark corridor after another. I was awakened by the insistent vibration of my cell phone and hello? Emmy, are you okay? Where are you? Is Mother with you? You say you're in a trailer? Mom's not there? Can you look outside and tell me what you see? You said that there were a lot of bright lights and one of those big blue things. And then I knew. One of the big blue cranes by the port. Emmy, I'll be right there. Just wait for me, okay? And then I called Murdoch. And it rang and went to voicemail. It's Matthew. I just got a call from Emmy. She's down by what sounds like the South Boston dockyard. I'm gonna go get her. Oh, and one more thing. Thanks for answering your phone. Thanks for being there for me. And then I ran. There was nobody else I could call. Nobody helped, not when it mattered. It had been about 40 minutes since you called me when I turned the corner and saw these 2 shabby-looking trailers. Emmy? I prayed that Mom wasn't around, that she hadn't come back yet. And then there you were, staring big-eyed and teary. The passenger door to a truck swung open and our mom stepped out and started walking toward us. She stopped within a couple of feet of me. There was this long moment of silence and I had this second of dizziness. But when I came back, I was different. It wasn't that I was no longer afraid of our mother. It was that I didn't care that I was afraid. Fear wasn't going to rule me anymore. Not with her, not with anyone. I could do anything I wanted to right now. I could kill her. I could set you down, Emmy, lift my hands to her, throw her to the ground, and kick her in her head and chest until she died. Easy. It would be easy. She had kidnapped you. She had threatened us. I would get away with it. And so what if I didn't? You and Callie had Murdoch to take care of you. And Nikki would be dead.